Very good evening, everyone. I am Vishwa Prakash, a sophomore from the Department of Civil Engineering, and this is Placements Unboxed with the CEST Club. CEST is the official Civil Engineering Students Technical Club of NITR Rourkela. We have brought to you Placements Unboxed, where we interview our seniors and alumni who have excelled in various fields and got placed in some of our dream companies. With their help, we aim to help the aspiring students pave their way in their careers. In today's session of Placements Unboxed, we are proud to have with us Mr. Rahul Singh. He is currently a final year student at NIT Rourkela and is placed at procDNA as a business analyst. To begin with, on behalf of the whole team of CEST Club, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations to your placements.
Thank you.
So let us start with the question and answer discussion. To begin with, we have the first question. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the things that you're interested in?
No, I've always been like an outgoing kind of person. Like I'll be the first one to be friends with you. I love interacting with people. Like I love cracking jokes, and I'm like that with everyone. Like even with my batchmates and even with my juniors as well. Like you could ask anyone, I'd be like that only. If anyone is getting a laugh in the room, then that would be me. And speaking about my interest, I like sketching. Specifically speaking, if I like portrait sketching, I love the detailing part, and I love music. Singing is my lifeline, you could say. So yeah.
So that was really a very precise and insightful answer. Moving on, the second question is, how has your life at NITR through your graduation years? How has NIT Rourkela been to you basically?
So life at NITR is like my life is full of ups and downs. Like when I first visited the campus, I was like, if I could use that word, flabbergasted kind of thing. Like seeing this beautiful campus, like not so beautiful people, but campus. And then suddenly a bomb dropped, and I faced electrical, basic electrical in my first semester. And students at NITR know what facing electrical in first year is. So like yeah, and then after that, like it was good, like making new friends, like walking in the evenings, like, and Rourkela's weather is very good. So like that first year was like that only. And then COVID came and took those 2 precious years away from us. But even then we were bonding with each other, we were communicating, we were cracking jokes, like we were having our own time. Then we returned back to campus like in the sixth semester in the second half. And then we were like not so very compatible with that environment. Like we have been living in our homes, of course. So, but then by the time we were like, okay, yeah. And then since then, we have been living like life to its fullest. Like we use the word carpe diem, like we have been since like that only. And it's been like 1 year or so. And yeah, now it's coming to its end. Like in a month or so, we'll be out of here. So yeah, kind of emotional as well.
Seems you enjoyed your life at NIT Rourkela to your fullest.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Please describe your role as a business analyst at procDNA and where you have been recently placed.
So basically, what business analysts do is like we are given like typical type of data sets, like different type of data sets. We have to go through them. We have to work through them. We have to draw some insights using different kind of softwares, different kind of like packages. Like we have to gain some insights, and then after that we have to like make them understand like who's the client is, like company's client comes to us with a question, and we have to provide a solution. If you could like be a lump sum like that only, basically working through data sets is what a business analyst would do using different kind of softwares. So that's like yeah.
Okay. So moving on. Please elaborate on your perspective towards cumulative grade point average, that is CGPA, and does CGPA has a significant impact on the hiring process during placements?
Like CGPA is important, definitely important, but it does not play a very much vital role in placements. Like if you are aiming for code sector, then definitely CG, you require a good CG, a very good CG. But if you are hoping to get placed in analytics or in software sector, companies don't search for like very good CGs. But in my opinion, you should have a CG greater than 8. That might make a good impact on the interviewer or might not. It depends. But in my opinion, getting a CG above 8 would even like show you like you are good in studies as well, like what you are doing. So that might create a good impact.
That was a very useful answer for all of us, probably. Moving on. So, what sparked your interest in analytics? What served as a motivation, basically?
So like this is an interesting story. In my second year, like I was focused on core. Like I would be studying civil subjects, I would be cracking gates, stuff like that. So I'm like a kind of a fickle-minded person. So, but at that time, session was held, like our seniors organized it, like it was internship talks. I saw a senior speaking on like how she got internship in fractal analytics. So that created a spark for me. That was my motivation. After seeing that video, like I was like intrigued, like what this field is, what should I study, like I was intrigued. Then I started learning those softwares, I started going through projects, I started going through interviews like hectic. And then I was like, yeah, this is my field and I'm going to do it. I realized it like pretty early, like at the end of second year I realized I am going in this field only. So after that, like now I'm where I am.
So, that was a pretty subtle and precise answer. Okay. So, moving on to the next question. How do you distinguish between knowledge applicable in practical work and theoretical knowledge?
Yeah, if I speak from analytics kind of part, like theoretical knowledge is good. You must have theoretical knowledge. Like you should know softwares, right? But just learning softwares won't do any good to you, right? So you need to work through data sets. You need to work through real life data sets. You need to get that information. You need to like interact with people. You need to improve your communication skills. Like these kind of things, like theoretical knowledge is good. You should have that, but that won't take you any further. You have to have like some practical knowledge as well. Yeah. So
So, moving on. Students are quite confused whether to pursue core analytics or software. So, what would be your viewpoint and discussion upon this point?
like it's very normal to get confused. Even in my second year, I was very confused. First, I started doing coding and I realized it's not my cup of tea. Then I gave into like code sector. I was studying and studying and studying, like I was enjoying. But on the same at the same point, I was not sure about this, right? So then I saw that internship talk. Then I realized that analytics is my field. So like that only, you just need one moment of spark to know what's your like interest. You should never like follow, they say bhed chal. Never follow that. If you are in a good college like NITR status, you have many options, right? I specifically chose this college because it has many options. You can switch your field anytime if you want, but you need to like work hard on that and you need to realize it pretty early. And if you realize, when you realize, make sure you contact good people, make sure you contact correct seniors, make sure you have a good friend circle who are interested in that field only. That would help you definitely.
So, that was pretty insightful. And what, in your opinion, is the best time to begin practicing if someone is interested in this particular field of analytics?
So there's no such thing as like what good time is it. As soon as you realize, you should start working on it. I realized it at the end of my second year, but I have seen my juniors who have realized it like in their third years as well. So there's no delay in that. So there's no pressure, right? Even if you don't get any internship, it's no big thing. You would definitely get placed. You just have to work hard. You just have to work on your basics. You have an ample amount of time during your holidays, right? If you work like, in my opinion, if you work like 5 to 6 months in this particular field, properly working, like I don't believe in hard work, I believe in smart work as well. Don't waste your time. Focus your time on proper things. And then you would definitely get placed. Like look at the bigger picture and do not look like I didn't get any internship or such thing. Look at the bigger picture. Matlab, keep working hard and definitely would get placed. Right. So there's no such thing as right time.
So, moving on to the next question, could you please give us a rundown of the selection process and the key points to remember before your interview? Basically, would you just give us some tips and tricks to crack interviews of analytics?
Interesting question. So speaking about the first part, like first there was an OT round, online test. Questions were like normal OTs as well, like logical reasoning, maths, English, stuff like that. You could crack that if you have basic knowledge. After that, uh, it has a difficult, I wouldn't say difficult, complicated process. Proc has a complicated process. After OT, like 30 odd students were selected, 30, 35. And then we were like grouped into three. Three students were in each group. And then the round two was case study round. We were given a case question in the morning, I think 10 to 11 a.m. And then we were asked to submit the solution by 6 p.m. Right. So we worked for like 6 to 7 hours, like continuously. Then we submitted the solution. After seeing those solutions, I guess 10 to 12 people were shortlisted for the first round of interview. The results came the next day. The first round of interview was technical, purely technical. It for me, it lasted for like 30-35 minutes. And the questions were asked mostly on softwares listed in my CV, right? So that was it. And the second important thing was guesstimates. So they focused on guesstimates. So I gave this interview at around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. So I was like, okay. Then after this interview, I went like on a walk. I didn't know what was going to happen next. So at 6 p.m. or something, I received a call that you would be having your interview in 30 minutes. What? So they're like, it would be going to a fit round. They call that, and you could name it a managerial round kind of thing. Okay. So I went to my room, and the last round was managerial round. And only three people gave that interview. And for me, it was my longest interview. It lasted for like 1.5 hours. So I didn't know like what was going. Maybe he was interested in me. Maybe he was enjoying like bullying kind of me. But okay. So he mostly focused on my CV. Starting from my CV, like starting from the upper left corner, he came to the like lower right corner. He asked me everything, every tips and details, everything. Like what kind of projects I have done. Like he dwelled into it. And other than those CV and software stuff, he was interested in more like management kind of thing, and then guesstimates. So in my both interviews, guesstimates were basically the like key points, right? So yeah, that was it. Like these were the rounds.
Like it's really gratifying. So moving on to the next question, can you describe your experience working with data and any tools or software which are familiar with you, such as Excel or SQL? What additional skills should a newcomer begin learning in order to advance in this field?
So yeah, like you mentioned, SQL and Excel. So when I talk to my juniors, I always say that four softwares are really important. First of all, like SQL, then Excel, then Python, then Tableau. Or you, in place of Tableau, you can use Microsoft Power BI, right? Like speaking in order, like SQL, you could easily learn from any site, YouTube or Udemy or something like that, and then you could practice on W3 schools resources, etc. So that's it. But it just includes coding part. So it would not draw any visualizations or kind of thing. It's just the coding part. Excel, most people like don't like working with Excel, but Excel is very crucial. Not just the addition subtraction part. Like you have to learn more than that. Like VBA you have to learn, macros you have to learn, lookup you have to learn. So these are important functions in Excel. Then coming to Python, yeah, the most important thing, you do not require DSA in analytics. And ML, definitely not. ML is not necessary in analytics. It is for data science. Don't confuse it with data science. Don't confuse data science and data analytics. Those two are quite different things, right? In Python, you need to know the basics. Other than that, you need to know the libraries. Pandas, NumPy, Seaborn, Matplot. These four libraries specifically targeting Pandas and NumPy, because the interviewer is going to ask you on that only, right? So that's it with Python. And the most interesting software for me, I would say, like was Tableau. It would just create graphs, visualizations. Actually, we as a human, we don't like seeing the long codes, right? We like seeing the visualization kind of part. Even in my interview, he was like, show me your like project. So I was like, I had that project in SQL code as well. I had that project in Tableau as well. So he was like, what do you want to show? So that was a tricky kind of part. So I suggested that I would like to show my Tableau dashboard. So I opened my Tableau dashboard and he was like literally amazed in that interview. And that interview went smoothly. So you have to choose your words wisely and you have to use these four softwares. Other than these softwares, you need to know guesstimates and you need to know case studies and work on your communication skills. If you have a good grasp on these things, that would do. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Could you please walk us through your intensive experience if you have done so?
It's an interesting question. Actually, in the end of second year, as I like mentioned previously, I started working. I was like pretty confident I would definitely get an internship. But on-campus internships are hard to get. If you are in like for say if you are in civil department and you need to get internship in analytics and consultancy, so companies visit very less who are open to all, right? So not many companies visited, and I faced constant rejections on campus internship. Not only that, I faced constant rejections from off campus internships as well, like which I applied through LinkedIn internships as well. So that was a very rough patch for me, right? I felt like giving up. Like I was not getting any, I knew that I had knowledge and I was not getting anywhere with it. But because my friends were very supportive, my family was supportive, that's why I carried that only. And one thing I realized, internships are just an add on. It's just an add on in your CV. Actually, like people focus on internships because definitely it would gain deeper and you would gain deeper understanding of that field. That's that. But in an interview, you like to give something to the interviewer so that he could ask you something about. Even if you don't have an internship, make sure you have ample number of projects listed in your CVs. Like even though I didn't secure an internship in this field, I worked on almost 12 to 15 projects. 12 to 15 data sets I worked on in my summer vacation. So I was like, I'm not sitting idle, I'm preparing for placements. Like I mentioned previously, focus on the bigger picture, right? So I was like, I'd be doing my work and then let's see where that would like fetch me. So then the first company, like in August, final year August, seventh semester, the first company that visited for analytics and consultancy, procDNA. I showcased my skills, I got selected. So that's that. Internships are just an add-on. It didn't play any part in my selection. Maybe it might play a part in other people's selection. So that's that. But speaking from my point of view, they are just add-ons.
Okay. So, moving on to the next question. It is very well known to us that NITR's club culture is very diverse. And were you a member of any of the clubs? If so, how did they contribute to your success?
So since my first year, I've been part of Axiom, the official mathematics club of NITR, because like since I was a kid, I was always interested in maths and aptitude. I was exceptional at that. So like I when I entered the campus and I came to know about this club, I was like interested. I joined this club. And since then it has always been good for me. Like since I was in Axiom, I never had to prepare for any OT. That this thing I can say confidently. Like other people were following India Bakes and such sites, I never had to prepare for OTs because we were preparing questions like that for other students in our club's time. Like when I was the club member, I was preparing questions like that for other students to give. So I had knowledge in that field. So cracking an OT was never like difficult for me. So that would be like, beneficial. Other than that, when I became the executive body, I was the vice president of that club. I learned many management skills. Management skills are very important. Management skills and public speaking. These things are quite important, and that would like are would play a crucial role in your selection process, right? So in this way, my club helped me a lot. and I've always like I've been a part of one club only, right? And when I came in my final year, I wouldn't say this is a club, but I got like selected in training committee. So people know what training committee does, but that was a very good experience for me. It's still going on. Like I improved my public speaking skills to a very good level, right? So things play good role. Like you should have extracurriculars. Like you should be a part of many clubs. Not many clubs. If you are if you are interested, you should be a part of 1 to 2 clubs, not more than that. Clubs play a very important role, right? So yeah.
That was a very gratifying answer. Moving on to the next question. How did you maintain a balance between your academics and your placements, that is in analytics, and your social life?
Okay. So like academics, like every NITR student knows, no one studies for the whole semester during the whole semester. We only open our textbooks on nowadays slides a week before exam. So I am no extraordinary kind of person. I'm like that only, and I've been doing good following that regime. So yeah, academics was like that, and then club activities were there, of course, in first year as well. But in online mode, there was no such like hectic kind of schedule because everything was going on online. So most of my college life went that only. And when I came in my like fourth year, club activities were like I wasn't a part because fourth year are basically retired members of that club as they say so. Academics was also on a pretty lighter note. And speaking about my social life, I've always been a like mentioned previously, outgoing person. I like making friends, and I can say proudly I have been friends since first year with my like group of people. My hostel gang is different. My civil people are different. I have been friends since first year with them, and yeah, one more thing, like people change. Yeah, so people come and go. People come in your life for a reason, and then they leave. So you cannot change that, right? So this all comes under social life as well. You need to like face NITR is a mini world, right? The situation you are facing here right now, you are going to face that in the real world as well. So make sure you get accustomed to here only, because same thing is going to happen when you step out of this campus. So yeah.
Okay. So, moving on to the next question. Uh, Being a civil engineer, do you plan on taking GATE or considering career change? Like apart from analytics, do you plan to go for GATE or any competitive exams like ESC or something?
Like I mentioned, I was interested in GATE, but only in my second year. Then I realized analytics in my is my passion. After that, I realized civil subjects are not my cup of tea. I wouldn't do any good if I keep studying like that only. I'm good at mugging up, I would say honestly. I don't understand any concepts, any practical knowledge. I am a very bad civil engineer, I would say that. Right. So definitely I'm not planning on taking GATE or ESC or stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. So, what was your experience pursuing civil engineering degree? And would you ever suggest anyone taking up civil engineering as a branch, particularly at NITR, I would say?
Hmm. So yeah, the experience was good. Like of course, civil engineering like gives you an aspect of like practical life, right? So you are not just at your rooms coding or stuff like that. You would get a real life experience in civil engineering department. See, so let me be a hypocrite in this one. So it didn't do any good to me, but the people like friends who are in this sector, like core sector, definitely they find this branch very interesting. If someone comes to me like they are getting an option at an ITR civil department, definitely I would suggest, because like getting a college like this, getting a branch like this, you would have many options in your hands, right? Even if you change your mind, you still have options. Even if you change your mind again, you still can come back to civil. It's like that only. So civil is a department branch, I would say. that would like open your mind. Like it would help you understand like practical world, right? Like how things are doing. We have been seeing like construction work since our childhood, but we didn't understand anything what's going on inside. But as you dwell into the subjects of civil engineering, you understand what's going on, what's the whole process. So for some people, that is quite fascinating. So that's the speciality of this branch.
That's really great to hear that. Moving on to the next question. How exactly should one get ready for the OTs and interviews in your opinion?
Okay. So for OTs, I would suggest like go through India Bix. It has ample number of questions, like ample number of data sets. You could like work continuously on that, and you could study. Like it's that only. You just need to solve 10 to 15 questions daily on India Bix, right? So OT would like be very easy if you are accustomed with those questions in India Bix. People ask that kind of questions only, and most of the times the questions are repeated. I can say that very bluntly. So go through India Bakes and other sites as well. That would do good for OT. Interviews, it's actually a long process, right? In the back end, you must have a very good CV. You must have an honest CV, I would say. Like you should only list those things of which you are confident about. Either you have done those things or you are confident to bluff. I would suggest if you are bluffing, make sure you don't get caught. Be confident. Like like he would know that you are bluffing, but he should realize nah, he has confidence. So that's the major point in any interview. Confidence is the key, right? Other than that, in your CV, make sure interviewer has like many things to ask you to. If your CV is like boring things, he wouldn't be interested, and your interview would end then and there in his mind. So make sure you give him things specifically to that domain. If that is an HR or managerial round, specifically, you should mention good extracurriculars that would highlight your management skills, team leadership skills. They look at those skills as well. So in any interview, all these things combine. So you work like that. And make sure you give mock PIs, mock GDs as well, mock group discussions among your friends, among your colleagues, like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, any parting advice for aspiring analytics professionals and students?
Yeah. My advice would be uh, make sure you know where your passion lies earliest as you can, right? And failures are a part of success. As I mentioned, I failed continuously, but then success came eventually. So make sure you learn from your mistakes. That is very important. If you are not learning from your mistakes, you would definitely be a failure then only. Make sure you learn from your mistakes and make sure you work in right direction, right? So make sure you contact good seniors. Make sure you have a very good friend circle. That would those who would support you even when you are at your lowest. I had that kind of circle. I still have that kind of circle.
Okay. So, last but not the least, what would be your opinion about CEST Club, and would you recommend a freshman admitted at NITR Rourkela to join CEST Club?
Yeah, so definitely CEST Club has its legacy. If any junior comes to me, I would definitely advise him to go to CEST Club. Of course, because first thing is the civil departments club. Of course, if you are aiming to get placed in core sector, so the articles that came, the like posts that came, that would definitely help you get the better picture of like how things are constructed, how well things are there in the original world. So, and if you are a part of club, definitely you would gain some management skills. You would definitely gain some team leadership skills. So these things are also there. So definitely you should be a part of CIST.
So, thank you so much for your insightful words, Bhaiya. That was a lot of information.
Thanks for having me as well. Yeah.
And again, congratulations on your exciting achievement and best of luck for your near future.